So, hey there, beautiful people. About 3 years ago, I did some extensive study and research on gut health. And I was floored at the impact that our gut has on our mood, our immunity, weight control, and so many other things. But this research that I just found out about is probably the most significant thing that I've seen in the last 3 years. And I'm going to share it with you today and how it's going to benefit you, and it is coming right up. So hey, this is Lindy, registered dietitian, clinical and licensed nutritionist, and nutrition detective. Like I said, a few years ago, I studied extensively on the gut, and the gut health research was compelling to me. And what happened was a community group got together and wanted me to present this to an audience up in Baltimore at one time. And this was about 3 years ago. And so I just presented all of this. It was an amazing community event. Thought about 30 people would show up, and we had over 350 people come to this event. We shut the registration down. And it's only because gut health is so important for so many people, and so many people are suffering. And so the information that I got from this extensive study came from the American Gut Project and NIH's Human Microbiome Project. They had done some amazing research, like in the last 7 years, on gut health. But today, what I want to show you or give you is the newest research. This is like in the last 6 months, and it is significant, absolutely significant. It just builds on what we already knew, but it even gives us more insight into the gut, and I'm so excited about it. I'm ready to jump out of my skin. So what it is basically, well, before I even talk about that, I want to just kind of go back and tell you like what happens when we eat carbohydrates and fats and protein. So what happens is that enzymes in our GI start to break those big molecules down into smaller molecules that can actually be used by our body. So these smaller molecules actually get absorbed into, where they're supposed to be absorbed, which is the small intestine, the colon. Well, there is a certain type of food, and it's called fiber, that actually doesn't do that. It just passes right through and gets to the colon unabsorbed, and it doesn't get broken down. So what we know now is that food, or that fiber, is actually the food for the good bacteria. Now, at one time, we kind of thought that probiotics were the thing that really proliferated or made all of the good bacteria. We thought that it was all about probiotics. We knew how important these fibers are, but we always thought that the probiotics were the ones that were making a lot of the good bacteria. They are important and they have beneficial effects, but what we're finding now is that's really not the case. That these fibers, if they're not there, then the bacteria will not multiply. That is huge, because that's the implications behind that, folks. I'm going to link some videos below, are weight control, immunity, mood, and sometimes we get stuck. Sometimes we can't lose weight because we're not ingesting these good fibers. Now, I have to say, all fiber is good, and if you think fiber and you think whole grains, I just want you to stop, because those are the worst kind of fibers for you. I don't even recommend eating grains, or very many of them, because many of them contain lectin-containing compounds that actually contribute to leaky gut. That's another video altogether, and contribute to our guts getting broken down. So I'm not talking about whole grain fiber. That's kind of what we think about when we think about fiber. I'm really talking about the fiber that comes from vegetables, the fiber that comes from some fruits, and mostly those lower sugar vegetables. And so, but the ones that the gut, like our little gut bacteria, love the most, and they're the ones that help them grow the most. It's almost like giving them a Thanksgiving feast, and they get all happy and they just start multiplying and they just start just having a good old time down in our colon, are something called prebiotic fibers. I know I've talked about them before, but I didn't realize that this new research actually is saying that these are the fibers that are really causing our gut bacteria to multiply at a greater rate. So it's so exciting. And so what I'm asking my patients to do, or what I'm asking you to do, is to get more of these foods. Try to do 2 to 3 servings of these foods a day and see what happens. Just kind of see what happens to your gut and how you feel and your weight loss. Let me just give you a couple of these this is not all of it. This is not the exhaustive list, but I want to give you a few that you may not have thought about. I know I've mentioned them before, but I'm going to mention them again because they're that important. And that is like artichokes, especially Jerusalem artichokes. The second one is jicama, leeks, onions, garlic, leafy greens, especially dandelion greens, cocoa, but not with the tons and tons of sugar that we're used to eating cocoa with, asparagus and chicory root, apples and seaweed. I like the dried organic seaweed that you can get in the grocery store, most grocery stores. And so those are the types of like Thanksgiving feast, like let's just feast and multiply and be happy, woo, kinds of fibers that our bacteria needs. And we need more good bacteria. If we don't have good bacteria, guys, we're not going to lose weight. It's going to be tougher to do that. Our mood is going to be depressed, and we are going to get sick more often. So I think it's significant research. Just in the last 6 months, we've come up with this research. I love sharing this kind of stuff with you. One of the things that I do, I know it's really hard to get a lot of fiber into your diet, and food is the #1 way of doing that. But you can supplement to some degree. That doesn't mean it takes the place of food, because you never want to take the place of food. But the one that I have been using for years is called Fiber Max. This is by Advanced Naturals. Let me show it to you. So Fiber Max is the bomb. It is not Metamucil because it has lots of different types of fiber, because you need a gamut of fiber, because all foods have like different types of fiber in them. It has soluble, it has insoluble, has a little bit of L-glutamine for gut healing, and it is just, I absolutely, it's gluten-free, it's GMO-free. I love this product. So I have been known to actually take handfuls of this stuff because it's not a drug, it's food. It's different. You can get this in a powdered form if you can't do the capsules. Love, love, love. And I'm going to link that below where you can get that at 20% discount. I know you can also get this on Amazon or whatever, but it's probably going to be a little cheaper through the Wellevate site. But so I'm excited to tell you about that today. And again, check out some more of those gut health videos, and just guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please join our YouTube family. Please subscribe to our channel here. We would love to have you. It's just growing and growing and growing this year. I'm over the moon about that. And also, if you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and like my Facebook page, Lindy Ford Nutrition and Wellness. And just remember that everybody deserves the freedom to live their best life. See you in the next video.